Hello, good afternoon. I'm Bruce Lim, and welcome to another edition of a Restart program, a Restart series under Growth Malaysia. And today we have really special guests who can show you a stark 180-degree turn in terms of their business. I want to see, and I think we want to see what is the secret, behind this huge pivot in their businesses. What synergies are there, and what prompted them to take this decision, right? So first of my guests is the lovely Miss Lim Yi Huang, the managing director of Do-Re-Mi. So Do-Re-Mi, yes, these are the first three notes of the scale. It's of a music. So, yep, you guessed it right. They are in the big business prior to this. They were one of the big boys who supply music equipment, events equipment. Think of lights, sound, action, the stage. That's the work of Do-Re-Mi. They operate out of their factory in Sigambot, if I'm not mistaken. And they don't just do events of hundreds, they do the events of tens of thousands and even up to 100K in a stadium. So that's Yi Huang. Welcome to the program.
Hi everyone, this is Yi Huang, or you can call me Miss Lim. So that's how people usually call me, Miss Lim.
Right. So I receive a package that says Miss Lim, and that's from Food Kia
yes.
and Fruit Kia. So that's the new business Miss Lim is in right now, right? So we want to know that. So we will get back to Miss Lim in a while. Now we have my good buddy, Mr. Charanjit Singh, who is the managing director of Filvaco. As you can hear, Filvaco is, I think, a combination of the filters and vacuums. And one thing's missing there is you don't have the word pump, right? So Charan is dealing in the world of vacuum pumps, hydraulic pumps, and he supplies all these pumps to most of the factories in town, right? So welcome. And Charan has also pivoted into a few new ventures as well, which is so interesting, and they are so relevant to the new normal that we are living right now. So today's program is all about a restart, and I think we are in the final week of the movement control order. There was relaxation in place already. Some of us have gotten into the office, not me. Yi Huang, are you at the office or are you at home?
No, I'm still at home packing fruits and sending out.
Right, we'd love to hear that story. Charan, that's obviously your home. I can recognize the elephant.
I just got back from the office, yeah.
Right.
I just got back.
So, yeah, so we're all gearing for action next week. So we want to know what you have planned. So welcome, Charan, and welcome, Yi Huang.
Thank you, Dr. Bruce.
Let's go back to the time, all right, when the movement control order was announced. Very quickly, tell us through what went through your minds in the first few days of the movement control order, and how that has sort of changed today as you are looking forward to getting back to work, opening your business in a more full-scale way. Yi Huang. Lim.
Actually, before the movement control order, we have a Chinese New Year. So Chinese New Year naturally is also a non-peak season for our industry. That's the event industry. So we were actually still celebrating all our Chinese New Years before the MCO, and we see that, wow, China is on a lockdown. So we were not prepared for Malaysia lockdown at the time. So it's quite unexpected when they announced the lockdown. So yep.
So how has it affected your business? Because I suppose, like myself, we were saying, oh, it's Chinese New Year. let the thing be over, and when everybody comes back, and then we can get the gears and the engine moving. But before we could even start, and then we were struck with this.
Yes.
So
yes.
what went through your mind when you saw that, hey, you know, but that time it was just 2 weeks, right? What went through your mind at that point of time, Ms. Lim?
At that time, actually, nothing much. I didn't really think much about the MCO. I just thought that, okay, maybe this is getting serious, so we should actually do some MCO to let the virus die down a bit. But we really never expected it to be until now, 2 months. Yeah, I think 2 months. I've lost count of time already.
Correct,
Busy.
almost touching 50 days or likewise. Sharon, are you keeping count?
Yes and no.
So what's your experience like?
I mean, for us initially, I mean, like what Yuang says, you know, we were also holidaying in Hong Kong when we first experienced this COVID thing, and everybody was walking with masks and everywhere. So we thought, oh, okay, you know, these guys are being overprotective, and Malaysia we are safe.
Yeah.
And we got back to Malaysia, and then the whole thing began to unravel. And thinking back, you know, the 97 crisis, which I was maybe very new in the business or very new in the working environment. I didn't experience the subprime crisis of the 2000s. I began to experience that. But let me tell you, I mean, this COVID-19 outbreak, I've never seen anything more terrible or worse than this. Moving forward, I mean, we didn't expect. I mean, the first 2 weeks was like a holiday. You know, we were all, you know, family time, you know, going outside, buying some food, coming back, you know, doing some chores in the house, which you think you probably never done or put or delayed for the last 6 months. And then things began to creep in, the effects of, you know, everything began to creep in to say, you know, nothing is moving, businesses are not moving. This is going to be longer than what we anticipated and expected. Then the worry starts, you know, because we deal with all multinationals, and they don't run their businesses. Literally, business on the engineering front has been zero. March was a very, very slow month because I think we shut down the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. And February has been April has been literally zero. And now moving forward to May, we are just creeping into the business, the new norm, so to speak, you know, getting back to the rhythm of the business. So that is, I mean, it has impacted us quite a great deal, you know, and we've got mouths to feed, we've got salaries to pay, and, you know, we are still keeping our staff salaries at full scale and moving. We don't know how long we're going to go on with that, but as for now, we're still trying to keep everything as the norm.
Right. So then looks like you're still surviving, right? So when is it that you decide to look for other avenues of business, or has this always been there? Sharon.
Okay. Well, for me, I mean, you know, we've been exploring other businesses together in terms of training. And that is something very exciting that we just started, and we just began to launch, and this COVID thing happened. So that's on hold right now. And then this opportunity about this disinfecting and the sanitizing business came about because I was talking to one of my neighbors who lives in the same neighborhood, and his brother has a chemical factory that produces some of these chemicals. And we saw the opportunity there to get into the business. He was just starting. So I decided to jump on the bandwagon with him, giving the outreach of my business circle that I thought I could, you know, use that outreach and reach out to more people to sell these kind of services, not really to make so much of money, but just to keep the momentum going, just to keep my team members going, and let's see, you know, what happens out there, and also to educate the people as to what this epidemic is all about, and how do we take caution in moving forward. You want to restart, yeah.
Okay, so your pivot into what you call this new business that you do, disinfecting of factories and working spaces, right? So it came about from serendipity. You just met a neighbor and you thought that you can add value because you have access to factories and offices and all that. So it was
Yes.
serendipity. What about your case, Yi Huang? So I would imagine you're having, as you mentioned, a little holiday at home, right? And then when did it dawn upon you that, hey, looks like this is going to be around for a while, and that you needed to do something? Or has it always been your hobby to deliver fruits and sell fruits and fish?
No, actually, for me, it really my big boss is actually my mom. So she's the one that started this business. I'm just only the salesperson for it. During the first week of the MCO, we were just having fun at home. Like what Charan said, we were cooking and then tapao food and all that. And then I was ordering a delivery of fruits. And then when the fruits came, it was actually not very good fruits. So that's when my mom says, okay, let's go into this thing. Let's do this on ourselves. So that's when she started calling her friends. Her friends deliver the fruits to our house. The first day itself, we sold 28 packets of them. So actually, initially we were supposed to just send to our neighbor. And then our friends came in, and then once the order actually shot up to 100 packets a day. So that one really shocked us. And yeah, so until now, I think we've been in it for, 40 days already. So far, so good. The fruits, and then the way we pack our fruits also, we have to make sure, because the reason we started this business is so that we can deliver more affordable, good fruits to more people. So the way we packet our fruits also is in a very, very careful manner. So we put a lot of a protective layer on it. Like banana, we even customize a box for it. So yeah, did you order banana, Dr. Bruce?
No, I didn't get the bananas, but I will confirm that the fruits were very, very well packed. Actually, it takes some effort to also
I concur, because we also ordered fruits.
Yeah, have access to those fruits.
Lily, Charan actually ordered a lot of fruits from us. So I'm sure when he looked at the banana protection, then he says, "Wow, this is really this is really one job lah." Because we actually have someone. Actually, that someone is my dad. My dad is the one that's engineered this whole banana protection.
Right.
So besides this, and then also dragon fruit, also we need to do double protection. Plums also. So doing delivery of fruits is not easy, because it's easily squashed. So that's the reason why we need to do protection for the fruits.
Okay, so what else are the unique selling points of Fruit Kia? Your new business, because you obviously saw a space that you can offer, right? Because the fruits that you get before that were more expensive, they were less fresh, and they weren't properly packed. So you were looking at making it safe, fresher, faster, and all that. How long did it take for you to literally, from the point where your mother says, let's do the fruit business, into delivering that first 28 packages out? How long did it take?
Less than 10 hours. That night we took the fruits, and then the next morning we were delivering fruits already.
I need to call the Malaysia Book of Records to get this, because this is one of the fastest from idea, innovation to diffusion. I mean, I've been to your site. You do have a landing page on the internet. You do need to take photographs of those fruits. All that were done within the 10 days. Within the 10 hours, sorry.
Yeah, we did. Actually, the first day we were doing it through WhatsApp, and then the second day we had a Google form order, and then I think was third or fourth day we have our Facebook, and then we have our website, all that already ready.
So it was literally less than 5 days, right? 4 days
Yeah.
to get everything ready. And I love the way you step up your game, right? From just WhatsApp to Google Forms to a landing page, and you're really scaling it in
Yeah.
at super high speed. What do you consider to be the critical success factor that make you pivot so quickly and get to the market at such record speeds?
Wow. I initially, I think for the first few days, I was working 17 hours a day. From morning, I have to pack the fruits and then everything, sending to Sharon there. And then after that, at night, I need to build up my system, like doing a proper communication with client, and then have to tell them, okay, what is the fruits that we don't have, because all the fruits that we have is morning, the fruits will come in, my mom's friend will send it in, and then that afternoon we will deliver it out. So in the morning, then only we know what is the fruits that we have. So it's of course it's very fresh is one thing, but also maybe the fruits that we ordered the night before, we won't have it, so we have to let client know. So that's also another job. So yeah, I was working 17 hours a day. At that time,
Wow.
I don't have much time to chit chat with everyone and then network with everyone. I think that's what everyone else is doing, because I see all my WhatsApp is booming, like 100 message, 200 message, but I cannot reply because I was too busy selling fruits and packing fruits and make sure all the fruits is okay when it reach people. That's the most important thing, because if the fruit that reach people is not good, then it defeats the purpose of us going into the business, because there's so many fruit seller in the business. They don't need us. What they need from us is good fruits. And if the fruits is not good, we definitely will give a refund for the people that ordered.
Okay, so just hold on to that, because I like the way you've built the infrastructure. You're just talking about quality of your fruits and the marketing end, but there's a lot of moving parts that's happening behind as well. I would like to know where you get your unlimited supply of fruits that is able to feed half of Charan's kampong in a day. That's what I, I understand. And that's also the delivery component on that. Just hold on to that, and because I want to hear Charan's story before we progress. So you were looking at, I think, almost zero sales that you mentioned earlier.
Yes, that's right.
And you met your neighbor. Have you started your disinfecting business yet?
Actually, we have. I mean, we have started. I mean, not as fast as Ewang. You know, we discussed about it and we launched it within a week. We got some e-brochures out, and we began to blast out in all our WhatsApp groups, and then we began to get inquiries from friends whom we don't even know, calling us to ask us to quote, and that's how we got into the business. And I mean, we have done almost 300,000 square feet of disinfecting. You know, let it be small offices, warehouses put together. What we do is we follow MOH as a guideline, Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia as a guideline on how you do disinfecting, and we follow that. And we follow strictly the guidelines. And when we started, I mean, probably we were the first few to start. I really don't know how few or how many there were. But right now in the market, there's, like what Ewang said, there's so many sellers, there's so many people doing these services. And I've seen with awe and shock that a lot of them don't actually follow the procedures for a simple fact that the equipment that they use. I have seen people doing so-called disinfecting using spray guns, pin spray guns. And the most funniest one I've seen is, I have the videos even, you know, these foggers that they use to create fog when you're on the stages, where I think Ewang will know.
Yeah, so
they use
probably could get into this business as well.
Yeah, I mean, she's got enough of foggers. She can. I mean, guys are holding their foggers, doing fogging, which I think is not correct at all. You know, guys using raincoats instead of PPE, people in slippers and just a normal 3-ply face mask. And we refuse to compromise on the quality that we can give our client. And right now, the business, I wouldn't say has become competitive. The business has become no basis anymore. I mean, the prices are just
so how are you going to still compete, Charan? What is the space, you know, that the customer want that you're trying to cater to?
the first thing we do is we try to educate the customer. Say, hey, listen, this is what we do. For a simple
Education
fact that
takes a long time, right?
when we get the quotation, we put all our facts and details in the quotation. We tell the client, listen, if you can get a similar supplier or similar contractor who can do all this. Let me give you an example. I mean, our guys that go to the field have got their COVID tested already. So, I mean, you're trying to disinfect your office away from the virus, and here we bring one guy who's, probably testing positive into your factory or office again. So that is probably not the best thing to do. So to be sure, so our guys are actually also tested on COVID-19 and to make sure that they are safe before they go in some of these premises.
Right. So that's very responsible of you, right?
Yeah.
You follow the rules. You ensure safety. You reduce risk of infection. But is the market taking it well?
Yes and no. We do have our clients who are willing to listen to us, and we do have people out there who just want to I don't care. I just want to get it disinfected because this is what the government wants, and I need to start my business. So I mean, there are two ways, there are two sides to everything, and so we just let it be, and we are sincere and genuine. We're not out there to make the millions, but we genuinely want to help the client do a proper disinfecting service, and also the chemicals that they use. I mean, one of our partners have a chemical factory, so the chemical that we use are really safe, and the chemicals that we use are the type of chemical is approved or recommended by MOH. So that's the type that we use. So I mean, there are a lot of people out there probably use the same kind of chemical, probably use something different, which I really don't know.
Okay. Now, how easy or difficult it is to get into this disinfecting business? How much synergy is there with your existing business of supplying and servicing pumps and vacuum and all this engineering equipment? Do you have to fall back to existing resources, or do you have to relearn this whole new industry?
Of course, there is some learning that we have to do. We have to read up on the chemicals. We have to read up on the procedures and process and what kind of equipment that you do. I mean, there was no. I mean, it's like a pivot, like what you say, and we didn't really need to reinvent a lot of stuff. We didn't really need to reinvest in a lot of things. My current team members, they just have to go through some re-education process, and we were all ready to go. I mean, with a bit of guideline that we learn, we pick up along the way. And of course, as we move along, we also learn a lot from the clients themselves.
Right.
So
and I think that's where your strength is, because you have got this network, this broad base of existing clients that your staff, your people, your marketing guys know. So it's quite natural, for you to approach them.
So that is the start off point that we went back to the people that we knew. We went back to the clients that we were working with, and say, hey, listen, Mr. Client, we have these services right now. I mean, please do keep us in mind. We have got a clean record with you guys. We do what we tell you that we will do, and this is where we've been headed that way. And as we move along, we've been picking up inquiries from our business circles. Some we are successful, some we are not so successful. But like what we say, we just keep going on.
Right.
We keep. I wouldn't say the word innovate. We keep improving on our services. We keep improving on our packages that we can offer the client, and we just move along.
Thank you. And I really know you because I've worked with you on the training front. You were fairly quick as well, in coming up with and executing whatever plans that we had. Great work over there, Charan. Now, Yi Huang, now back to you. What synergy is there between fruits and then later on you went into seafood, right? Fresh seafood, frozen stuff. What synergy is there with DoReMi on equipment supply? What resources or that you can sort of fall back on to create synergy?
There is almost zero, I can say. There's no synergy between the fruits and the event industry. But one thing is we are sure is that both is also services industry. So customer service is very important. So that's what we are working on. So like for example, first day we sold the 28 sets, right? From 28 sets, then they refer their friends. The second day they order, like what we have a combo, a 50 ringgit combo for 5 types of fruits. So there's one madam from PJ, she first time she ordered 5 combo. And then after that she said, oh, this is really good. I'm gonna introduce my neighbor. And then the next day, another 10 more came in. So 5 grew to 15. And then the next day, you say, oh, that's very good. I'm gonna introduce this to my daughter as well. So that usually that's where we grow. It's through word of mouth.
So you have got your exponential power of X, right? You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one neighbor has got 5 around, so you got that exponential power. But you're already doing 17 hours per day. So if these orders were to increase, you're gonna run hours unless you grow new pairs of arms and legs. Could you not use your resource of your people from Doremi to do the packing?
To do the picking and the packing, yes, but customer service wise, we have to outsource it to, I mean, I asked my girl to do it. I mean, my my office girls to do it at their home.
Right.
So they have to reply WhatsApp and then reply Facebook messages, all the inquiries that we have, they have to reply it through their, they have to work from home from there.
Right. Yeah. And then there's also this whole system of logistics that you have to send out, right?
Yeah.
Right now, over 100, hundreds of packages and deliveries a day. Is this in-house or do you outsource?
Actually, we have to do it in-house because first thing is cost effective. If the delivery fee is more than 15, usually the client will back off. So we have to keep it at about 10. We also would not say free delivery because that is a small fee to the rider. The rider, they are like, actually, I would say the rider is actually the lower level employee that they really need this small fee to survive. So that's what we are working on, lower delivery fee for our client, but at the same time, it's also a small fee for our rider.
Right, so it beats them, moonlighting as Grab drivers. It's better to stick with the company. These are great. So you see traction in your new venture, whether they are in fruit and seafood, frozen delivery, and as well as yourself, Charanjit, in disinfecting business. So there's traction there. Do you think this will be something more permanent, or is this a so-called business hobby that you do, because it's in season, right? It's COVID season, so therefore, you turn to fruits. How has this business, does it have the capacity to fill the gap that's left, from your core business? Or do you think it's going to be a new venture that's going to take a life of its own, Charan?
Well, I think COVID is here to stay for a while, and it started off as a business hobby, like what you say. Of course, the core business will remain core. This will be a side business. I've got other partners who are also working together with this. And moving forward, I mean, we're always thinking, how do we improve ourselves, and we're always thinking how do we set ourselves apart from the competitors, And maybe moving forward, I also need to talk to you that, maybe we should come up with a training program to educate people, to educate companies who actually want to do this. And what does it entail?
Or even to certify such things, because right now people can't distinguish, between
how to use
the real McCoys and those who wear slippers.
Exactly.
And, surgical face masks.
That is something that I've been thinking today the whole day. I say, how do we pivot further or innovate further on this, and be the first to catch the bandwagon. Maybe we should start training people. I mean, training customers is one thing, but training the people offering the services to get them approved or get them certified so that they do the right thing and customers are not shortchanged at the end of the day. You know, so that is something that we trying to toy with. Probably that's why you have to probably come in at some point. You know.
Right. So, what about you, Yi Huang or Miss Lim, for your fruit business?
For my fruit business, if so far the MCO has lifted partially, and the orders are still coming in. So at the moment, we don't see any reason to stop. Maybe because fruits are very heavy, people don't like to go to grocery and then buy fruits. So we'll still deliver it. Yeah.
That's excellent. So now, next week, I'm not so sure whether MCO will be extended, but assuming it's not, all right, and looking at the curve that's coming down and additional capacity that our government has. So in all likelihood, and with the easing of businesses this week, you will open. So what will be the new dawn be? You know, when you get into your office next week, you obviously can't spend 17 hours packing those fruits. You know, how are you going to be spending your time, Yi Huang?
We'll see how it goes, because when it started, I don't know how, and then now it's gonna end. I also don't know how.
So yeah, I mean, it's natural. It's the new normal. It's the unknown. But
yeah,
how do you see your core business moving forward?
Actually, my core business, there is still some inquiry coming in about more to crowd control part, and then also temporary space expansion. Like for example, certain companies they need more capacity temporarily. Like a logistic company, they need more capacity. So that's where we can set up like a market tent for them, and then we can set up racking system for them, and then we can also do crowd controlling, like barricades, and then queuing system, and then thermal scan. That is the thing that we are going to do at Doremi. But for the fruits wise, I'm not very sure yet. But if there's order, we'll still continue. Why not? I mean, after all, we get to eat fruits all day.
That's excellent. Where did you get your supply of all these fruits? Your mother must be well connected.
Yeah, auntie go to pasar, you know. Auntie go to pasar, and then auntie got friend. And then auntie friend say, hey, you see, I have so much fruits. If I don't sell at the end of the day, I have to throw it away already. Then auntie B say, okay, send the fruit here. I'm going to deliver it all out for you. My daughter can do the job. She will distribute it all for you.
So overnight, you know, in less than 10 hours, you've created the entire distribution chain. Yep. Well done. Now, Sharon, how is the future like in the new normal?
Well, I've been, as entrepreneurs in these challenging times, I always believe that we constantly have to self-motivate. You know, that's the new concern. We got to constantly self-motivate ourselves as entrepreneurs. And we have no choice. In this doom and gloom, we got to be optimistic, and we got to stay positive, and we got to stay focused. And I believe, we probably have hit rock bottom, and the only way is up right now. And I believe that the core business will take a turn. It will come back to some normalcy, because factories need to start running, business needs to start moving, and I think there's already been a kickstart. And we can see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, business, the way we do business may change a little bit, but the end target will still be the same. You know.
Excellent. That's a good rivet. Stay positive until you reach there. Yi Huang, do you have anything to add? I mean, what is required for entrepreneurs today who are facing these challenges that you have got to, you know, of the unknown you mentioned? You're going to make uncomfortable changes and get into businesses that you were totally unfamiliar with before this. What are the qualities that entrepreneurs and business owners should have?
I think as a person from the event industry, we are quite used to being uncomfortable. So I would say the show must go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show must go on. We must still continue, and then just do your best. Do your best and work hard. Yeah.
So you're confident the shows will continue and you'll come back. Charan says, yep, factories will hum along. But how long is it going to take, in your opinion? Is it going to be a long I've got answers like as long as 3 years, and I've got some which is as short as 3 months. So I just want to, ask you this question so you can be part of this huge tabulation that I'm making. How long do you see until we can finally experience, as Charan mentioned, the light at the end of the tunnel? When do you? Yeah, Ivan.
Actually, I'm in contact with our what do you call it? Our Tourism Malaysia, MICEP. So they say that actually there's inquiry coming in from overseas already. So as soon as MCO is lifted, and then as soon as we got the correct SOP, I think we can go. We can go. Maybe we start with a smaller scale, but it doesn't matter because Doremi, we actually do from small to big, so we can start small, no problem. So we can start from smaller scale, and then slowly it will grow more and more. So if what the Tourism Malaysia say is correct, is true, so others are just waiting to come in. It's just when are we going to open the door? Yep.
Right, so that's super positive. So you're looking at a very steep V based on the information you get from Tourism Malaysia. What about you, Charan? Are you as positive?
Yeah, I mean, I speak purely on my business. And we've been talking to our clients that they're all back right now. The project inquiries are coming back, and they're all telling us to be ready because their customers are beginning to ramp up orders to them. And things, I mean, in the engineering side of business, I would see things improving probably in the next 3 to 6 months. And the next 3 to 6 months, we should see things improving. But I guess if you have an export business, if you're doing something exporting to Europe or the US, then maybe there might be a delay. And again, we are we are SMEs. So the impact, and the restart will be much faster than, like they said, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. You know? So for us, maybe it's easier for us to get up and start running again. And again, I'm trying to be very positive here. I'm trying to channel this kind of positive vibes as well.
Thank you.
I think within 6 months, we should see some kind of normalcy back.
Right. So the key is to be, until that day comes, you've just got to stay nimble, right? And have other new businesses to come and still support you. So looks like the two of you are on the right trajectory. You're able to do big and you're able to do small, and you're willing to go down and get your hands dirty 17 hours a day. Very, very impressive. So what is your advice for young entrepreneurs out there, who thinks that entrepreneurs has it easy? Okay, what would your advice be to them who wishes to get into, running their own business and growing it? Let's start with Miss Lim.
I'm a young entrepreneur as well, so I'm waiting for advice for the older one. Charan, you go first. Charan, give me some advice.
I'm not that much older than you,
Miss Lim has become the moderator now. Okay. All right, we'll listen to her. Charan.
Yeah, probably what I want to say is, always be resilient and be the chameleon. Be always ready for change. And adapt to the environment that you're going to be in. And the word I want to leave you guys with, always be flexible and be the change champion. Be the change champion. This is what I learned, when I was in the corporate world.
Right.
Be the change champion and, never stop learning.
Exactly. And you are a real change champion, from pumps to disinfecting, and even as recent as just yesterday, I also learned you're also in the business of selling honey, Manuka honey, and red palm oil.
Yes,
So,
that's right.
well, that's
Manu-
another pivot. I would love to hear about that, but we are running out of time. But change champion you are, right?
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have
Yi
heard
Huang,
from
back to you.
the less younger gentleman. All right, so the young entrepreneur, what advice do you have to budding ones?
Work hard, really work hard. Have to work hard, and then don't look at how much you are earning right now, but just do whatever you can first at your best ability, and then you will see the results later on. Don't waste any time thinking too much, overthinking. No, do not waste your time overthinking. So just do it first. If anything, we can change it later on. Yeah, that's
Fantastic.
end of it. Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you so much for sharing, what Yi Huang just mentioned about, being agile and just keep on innovating and doing it and changing it. No point talking and planning. As the great mentor will say, don't just talk and think and talk. You have got to implement and run with it, or something to that effect, right? And do it and get it. Yeah. So Charan, thank you so much as well, because
Thank you, Dr. Bruce.
innovation, change, and I think what you did is also don't be afraid to face failure, and positivity will get you through it. And thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me on this program, and for sharing this real entrepreneurship, these nuggets of knowledge and information with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bruce. Thank you all.
Sharon. Yeah, wish you all the best. Stay safe.
Yep.
And all the best for next week, yeah? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Bye-bye.